everyone, welcome back to GK Today. I am Sana and in this video we'll cover the current affairs. Before we move ahead, let me inform you that these questions are part of our daily 20 MCQ series 2022 in the GK Today's Android application. So if you are looking for the text version of these questions and their explanations along with the interactive quiz, you may consider joining our daily 20 MCQ series in the GK Today Android application. In this course in app, you get daily 20 MCQs, a fortnightly quiz, a monthly revision document, and also category-wise revision e-books that are optimized for reading on mobile. You are also able to access all archives of questions from January 2020 onwards. And let me tell you one more thing. If you want the Hindi version of this session, you can refer to our former channel named as GK Today. The link has been given in the description box from where you can reach to. So without taking much of your time, let's get started.
Good morning everyone. Welcome back to GK Today. And today we'll be discussing most important MCQs for 8th of July 2022. Let's start. What is the National Consumer Helpline in India? So the Central Consumer Protection Authority has blocked the hotels and restaurants from adding the service charge automatically or by default in the food bill. Okay. So the consumers may lodge a complaint on the National Consumer Helpline 1915 or through the NCH mobile application as per the Union Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution. Okay. So what is the National Consumer Helpline in India? It is 1915. Now let's see some of the important institutions that are in news. Which institution conducts OBQs, means order books, inventories and capacity utilization survey of manufacturing companies? So the Reserve Bank of India has launched the next round of its order books, inventories and capacity utilization survey of the manufacturing companies. Okay. And the results of the survey provide valuable input for the monetary policy formulation, and the 58th round of OBQs is for April to June 2022. So this information collected in the survey includes data on the new orders received during the reference quarter, backlog of orders, pending and total inventories, etc. Okay. Which institution has launched a portal named as Pariksha Sangam? So the Central Board of Secondary Education, that is CBSE, has launched a new portal named as Pariksha Sangam. And this portal will act as a one-stop destination for all exam-related activities, which will include the term result and more, various other things. So it has basically three parts in it. First is the school, which is called as Ganga. Second is regional offices called as Yamuna. And the third one is head office named as Saraswati. Okay. Which institution recently released Compendium of Ayush Practices to manage the COVID-19? So Indian government's think tank Niti Aayog has released Compendium of Ayush Practices to manage the COVID-19. And this compendium provides information that focuses on the practices adopted by various states and the union territories of India for strengthening the country's fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay. Which institution has announced to introduce a mandatory course on the caste awareness? So recently a new course has been introduced by IIT Bombay on caste awareness. Open Network for the Digital Commerce launched the Grand Hackathon in collaboration with which institution? So ONDC has launched this Grand Hackathon by collaborating with NABARD. Okay. You have to tell me what is the full form of NABARD in the comment section. Next question. National Pharmaceutical Pricing Authority is a regulatory body under the aegis of which union ministry? So National Pharmaceutical Pricing Authority is a regulatory body that controls the prices of pharmaceutical drugs in India, and it functions under the Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizer. So this NPPA has recently fixed the retail price for 84 drug formulations, including those which are used for the treatment of diabetes, headache, and high blood pressure. Okay, so this is related to Ministry of Chemicals and the fertilizers. Coming to the question slide, Rahul Narvekar, who is India's youngest speaker, has been selected from which state assembly? So he has been elected as the Speaker of Maharashtra Legislative Assembly, defeating Shiv Sena candidate Mr. Rajan Salvi. Okay, so he is the youngest Speaker of India as of now, and he is only 45 years old. Earlier, Eknath Shinde took over as the new Chief Minister, while Devendra Fadnavis took oath as the Deputy Chief Minister of the state Maharashtra. Fine. Which state or union territory passed the bills to hike salaries by over 66% of its members? So the Delhi Assembly passed the bills to hike salaries and allowances by over 66% of its members. And 5 different bills were tabled for the hike in salaries of ministers, MLAs, Speaker and Deputy Speaker, Leader of Opposition in the Assembly, which were passed by the members later on. Okay. The Environment Ministry directed to constitute a project screening committee in each state or the union territory with how many members? So Environment Ministry has decided to constitute a project screening committee in each state or the union territory, and it will have total 5 members, and this committee will meet twice in a single month. Okay. Which state signed a memorandum of understanding with Singapore-based IGSS Ventures to set up a semiconductor fabrication unit and a semiconductor high technology park? So recently Tamil Nadu has signed this memorandum of understanding with IGSS Ventures, and together they will set up a semiconductor fab unit and a semiconductor high tech park as well. Okay. Next is, which Indian state has launched a new scheme named as Nari Ko Naman? So this is a scheme from the state Himachal Pradesh, and aim is to provide 50% concession on the bus fares to the women for traveling within the state. Okay. And also the government has announced to sanction 25 new posts of the women drivers in the Ride with Pride government taxi services. Okay. Next question. Peter Brook, who passed away recently, was associated with which field? So he is actually one of the greatest theatre directors of the 20th century, and recently he passed away at the age of 97 years. And also he is regarded as one of the world's most innovative theatre directors, and he was known for bringing 9-hour adaptation of the Sanskrit epic The Mahabharata from France to New York in the year 1987. Okay. Only thing you have to remember is he is related to theatre field. Now let's see some of the important personalities who have left us recently. Kovalur Krishna Kutti, who passed away recently, was a famous author and lyricist of which language? So he was the famous author in Malayalam language. Bhajan Sopori, who passed away recently, was associated with which field? So he was actually related to music. Sangeeta Sajid, who passed away recently, was associated with which profession? So she was a playback singer. Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan has been appointed as the president of which country after its incumbent president passed away? So recently he has been appointed as the president of the country UAE. Shiv Kumar Sharma, who passed away recently, is known for popularizing which musical instrument? So he is known for santoor. Rajat Kumar Kar, who passed away recently, was associated with which field? So he was related to the literature field. Okay. Next question. Which racing driver won the British Grand Prix 2022? So Carlos Sainz sealed the first F1 victory of his career in the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. Who was second? Sergio Perez, and Lewis Hamilton was at third place in this championship. Okay. Now let's revise all of the important Grand Prixes that were held in 2022. Which racing driver won the 2022 Canadian Grand Prix? So it was won by Max Verstappen, second was Carlos Sainz, and third was Lewis Hamilton. Which racing driver won the Azerbaijan Formula 1 Grand Prix title in 2022? So it was won by Max Verstappen. Which racing driver won the Monaco Grand Prix title? It was actually won by Sergio Perez, second was Carlos Sainz, and third was Max Verstappen. Also fourth was Charles Leclerc. Which racing driver won the Spanish Grand Prix title in 2022? So this championship was won by Max Verstappen, second was Sergio Perez, and third was George Russell. Which racing driver won the Australian Grand Prix 2022 tournament? So first was Charles Leclerc, second was Sergio Perez, and third was George Russell. Which racing driver won the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix 2022? So it was won by Max Verstappen, second was Charles Leclerc, third was Carlos Sainz, and fourth was Sergio Perez. Which racing driver won the Bahrain Grand Prix 2022 title? It was won by Charles Leclerc. Okay, and talking about their respective countries, Max Verstappen is from Netherlands, Carlos Sainz belongs to the country Spain, Lewis Hamilton is from Greater Britain, then Sergio Perez is from Mexico, and then Charles Leclerc is from Australia. Fine, and rest are the same names. So for the Grand Prixes that were held in 2022, you have to only consider this particular slide and you will find no questions out of it. Okay. Next question. Neelachal Ispat Nigam Limited, that is NINL, was handed over to which Indian conglomerate group? So the privatization of NINL was completed as it has been handed over to Tata Steel Long Product, that is TSLP. Okay. So talking about NINL, it is the second successful privatization by the government after Air India, which was also bought by the Tata Group. So this is actually the joint venture of 4 central public sector enterprises named as MMTC, NMDC, then BHEL and Mekon. Okay, and also it is a joint venture of 2 Odisha government PSUs named as OMC and EPCOL. Fine. Let's see some of the important companies that were in news. Which Indian company has partnered with Amadeus IT Group to enhance the customer experience? So Tata Group's Air India has signed an agreement with Amadeus IT Group SA, which is a kind of travel technology. Okay, so this is the part of the Air India Carriers revitalization plan, and the agreement aims to deploy technology solutions to enhance the customer experience and operational effectiveness. So Air India is implementing the Amadeus IT Group for revenue management, revenue accounting, retailing and merchandising, website, mobile and frequent flyer program management. Okay, so only thing you have to remember is Air India has basically partnered with this group so as to enhance their customer experience. Which Indian company has partnered with Japanese chip maker Renesas Electronics to develop the semiconductor solution? So for this purpose, Tata Motors has partnered with Renesas Electronics so as to develop solutions for semiconductor. Goal program is launched with the collaboration of which company, and the full form of goal is going online as leader. So this program has been launched in collaboration with Meta. Language model for the dialogue application, that is Lambda, is the chatbot of which technology company? So this is the chatbot of Google. Which state or the union territory has announced a joint venture company with NLC India for setting up a 1 gigawatt solar plant? So recently Assam has announced their partnership with NLC India because they are set to develop a joint venture company for setting up a 1 gigawatt solar plant. Fine. Next question. Where is the Large Hadron Collider, which is the world's most powerful particle collider, located? So the world's most powerful particle collider, which is known as the Large Hadron Collider, is set to function from July this year. And it was built by the European Organization for Nuclear Research that is located in Geneva in Switzerland. Okay. So the Large Hadron Collider is a giant complex machine that has been built to study the particles which are the smallest known building blocks of all the things. And 3 years after it was shut down for maintenance and upgrade, the collider was switched back recently. Fine. Coming to the question slide, which of the following is the world's smallest tortoise and is endemic to the South Africa and to southern Namibia? This is a speckled tortoise. Okay. Which Indian cricketer created a world record for scoring the most runs in an over in a test cricket? So this cricketer is Jasprit Bumrah. Which is the venue of 11th World Urban Forum that was held in 2022? So the venue for this event is Poland. Where was the world's deepest shipwreck discovered recently? Answer is Philippines Sea. So Samuel B. Roberts is a World War II era Navy destroyer of the country USA, and recently it has been found in Philippines Sea. Kibu Lamjo National Park, the world's only floating park, is located on the dash. So it is located on the Loktak Lake in the state of Manipur. And don't forget that which is the world's only floating park, it is Kibu Lamjo National Park. You have to tell me which country is set to host the world's very first floating city. Do let me know in the comments. As per the recent revision in FCRA rules, what is the limit up to which relatives living abroad can send money to the Indians? So the Union Home Ministry has amended certain rules related to the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, that is FCRA. And as per the new rules, Indians can receive up to 10 lakh rupees in an year from relatives who are staying abroad without informing the authorities. Okay. So this limit was actually 1 lakh rupees earlier, and if the amount exceeds, the individuals will have 90 days to inform the government instead of 30 days like earlier. Okay. Let's see some of the important international current affairs. Which country has committed to invest $5.8 million to the Critical Minerals Investment Partnership? So Australia has committed $5.8 million to the 3-year India-Australia Critical Minerals Investment Partnership. And Union Minister for Coal and Mines, Mr. Prahalad Joshi, who is on a visit to the country Australia, said that India and Australia will explore investment opportunities in lithium and cobalt mineral asset. Okay. India signed a memorandum of understanding on high impact community development project in which country? So India and the country Armenia have signed a memorandum of understanding on high impact community development project in the country Armenia with financial and technical assistance from India. And both the countries reviewed the current state of cooperation in various fields such as trade, investment, health, tourism, infrastructure, culture, information technology, agriculture, and education. Fine. Which country has developed CoVar scan rapid test that can accurately detect all the current variants of SARS-CoV-2? So scientists in the USA have developed a rapid COVID-19 test that can accurately detect all the current variants of SARS-CoV-2 within hours, and it is named as CoVar scan. Okay. So scientists typically use whole genome sequencing to determine which variant of COVID-19 a patient has been infected with, and it is time consuming as well as it is expensive. Yair Lapid, who was seen in the news recently, is the new Prime Minister of which country? So he is the new Prime Minister of the country Israel. Okay. Next question. What is India's position on the Under-15 Asian Wrestling Championship? So Iran clinched Asia title in the Under-15 Asian Wrestling Championship while Kazakhstan was runner-up. So India secured third place with total 172 points. So the Indian Under-15 Greco-Roman wrestling team clinched 2 gold, 2 silver and 4 bronze medals in the championship, and this championship took place in the country Bahrain. So Sachin in 68 kgs category and Abhay in the 72 kgs category bagged the gold medals in their respective categories. Okay. Let's see some of the important questions. Alfia Pathan and Gitika, who were seen in the news recently, are associated with which sports? So the youth world champion Alfia Pathan and Gitika won the gold medals in the Alorda Cup in Kazakhstan's capital Nur Sultan. Okay. So India's other 2 female boxers Kalaivani Srinivasan and Jamuna Boro finished with silver medals, and also it was the debut senior international event for both the young players Alfia and Gitika. Okay, so they are related to boxing. Matt Fitzpatrick, who was seen in the news recently, is associated with which sport? So he is related to golf, and recently he won his first major title by winning the US Open. Sports Authority of India has opened its first ever set of squash courts in which state? So Sports Authority of India has decided to open its first squash court in the Union Territory of Delhi. Delhi Election Commission has named which sports person as the state icon? This is Yash Dhul. Avni Lekhara and Sri Harsha Devreddy, who were seen in the news recently, are associated with which sport? So they are related to shooting. Fine. Next question. Which bank has partnered with the government of Haryana for distribution of mobile phones through e-UPI? So Indian Bank has signed a pact with the government of Haryana towards distribution of mobile phones to the consumers through e-unified payment interface system. Okay. So under this agreement, the bank would provide e-UPI coupons to the beneficiaries, and the coupons can be redeemed without any credit or debit card, and the customers can avail a mobile phone from a designated vendor. Okay. Coming to the question slide, which new body has been approved to replace the bank's board bureau? So now onwards, the Financial Services Institution Bureau would replace the bank's board bureau. Which union ministry has declared certain resources of ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank and the National Payments Corporation of India as the critical information infrastructure? This is Ministry of Electronics and IT. Which state has announced to conduct a migration survey to expand the data bank of expatriate? This is the state Kerala. Which bank has announced to lend $250 million to the startups in India? This is HSBC India. Fine. Can you tell me, the World Bank has announced to lend how much amount for India's road safety program? Do let me know in the comment section. Now let's start with today's quiz. Here on the slide you can see 5 questions which have been taken from the past 2-3 days current affairs. Pause the video and try to solve each of these questions, and at the end of the lecture, do not forget to share your scores in the comment section. So please be honest and do not cheat with yourself. So that's it for today. I hope you have liked the session. These were the important news and events from today, and we will meet again tomorrow with some more important current affairs. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe to GK Today. With this, Minusat Sana signing off.